Okay. No, it's a ceremony, so there's that.
Good evening to all who is here present. I was asked to open this session with a libation ceremony. So, but at New Eustatius, I don't know if people will join in because it's about everybody joining in. Everybody who's here present. So, if not, then I would just have to just forget about it. I just can do part of it. So, is it okay to do that? Anybody know what a libation ceremony is? You know what a libation is? Libation is when you go to church and they throw water on the child. That's libation as well. When they throw water on the floor and throwing water in the somebody passed away and they threw the libation. So it might be libation. Think about it. Libation goes a long way and has a very deep meaning, you know. And as a matter of fact, it's all over the world these days. In every country you can think about, you have libation. So it's for thousands of years old. Also, I must remind everybody, right? And it's one of the oldest ceremonies in Africa, and you find it throughout Africa. You find libation being poured, but it's also at funerals, but also at weddings. You have libation, you know, being water being thrown for libation ceremony. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody wants to be part of it. If not, then I'll just leave it and I'll just go on to. I will start by playing a song with the drum. Okay?
Does it represent something? The actions that you do, does it represent anything?
Beg your pardon?
Does it represent something?
Libation?
Yeah.
It's one of the oldest, I could say, religion in the world.
Yeah, but does it have a specific meaning? You can say, okay, this, if I do this, it means that. Or
well, yes, libation means to pour out.
Okay.
To pour out. So that's why you pour in water, from water or oil or wine or whiskey these days.
And representation to the ancestors or probably have something to do with ancestors.
Certainly.
So
Because
how do you pour it on the floor on someone or
you pour it on the ground.
I'm interested to see.
You pour it on the ground.
What it is.
The ground is the mother. The ground is the mother, so we pour it on the ground.
Bagumba, I suggest that you model it, you show them so that they know what it is, but it is really an African tradition, and in the context of this evening, I asked him to do this because of the subject matter, but it is something as old as time. And I think that you can illustrate by conducting a libation. Perhaps you can do that and then go over to the song.
Okay. Okay. I'm using the best water in the Caribbean. The best water in the Caribbean I'm using, and that's with respect of the water being used. So I pour, and I will say, all praises and thanks due to the one Most High God.
Can you say that, please?
You can say, no, you can say your own.
Okay.
You can say your own prayer, and yeah, you can say your own prayer, and you can also wish and also ask their help. It's also possible. So that's what this libation right here. Yeah. And people use water, they use wine, use schnapps, what they call schnapps was gin, but I just use the water because it's original and it's always there. Okay? And it's one of the oldest in the world. It's thousands of years old. Okay? And today, it's all over the world. Today, it's in, it was discovered in ancient Egypt, in Nile Valley, in ancient Egypt. Okay? And today it's all over the world. So it's, for example, still in Egypt. Let me see. It's in Egypt, it's in Asia, it's in South America, it's in the USA. Okay? Anywhere in the world you think about it, it's there. Okay? Yeah, I was saying about the libation. The brother asked the question. Libation is the pouring out, and pouring out, you can, like I say, you can ask what questions you want. You can honor, like we want to honor our ancestors for being here tonight. We can just do it like in this way. Okay? So it's very deep. You can go, it has so many things you can do when to use libation. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's it. I'll do that, leave it there for in a nutshell, okay? And I'll play the song and then continue. Okay, well, I want you to join me with this one. You have 5 words you can say. Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Jole, Nayabongo. Can you do that? Can you sing with me? Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Jole, Naya, Bongo.
explain the meaning of each word?
No, not right now.
No?
No.
But just say what it means. If you don't explain, just say it is one word. So what each one means.
It is a song they always play when you do the libation. Yeah, it's a song that goes along with it. Okay, so Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Julie, Naya, Wongo. Are you there?
Yeah, our 6 pieces. Okay. I still like words is that say.
Okay. Kombi, let's do it together. Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Julie, Naya, Wongo. So I'm going to say, Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Julie, Naya, Wongo. And you're going to say, Kombi, Laya, Wasa, Julie, Naya. That's what you will say, right?
I agree with others that you would like to know the same.
Oh, well, you came in too late.
No, but she was here before me and she said it.
Okay, I'm listening. Okay, say Kombi, Kombi Laya Wasa Jole na Bongo.
Kombi Laya Wasa Jole.
No, you have to Kombi Laya.
Kombi Laya.
Kombi Laya Wasa Jole na Bongo. That's your side, that's your part. Yeah? Yeah, ready? Okay. Kombi Laya Wasa Jole na Bongo. Kombi Laya Wasa Jole. Okay, sorry. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. No, you only sing the second part. Yeah.
Oh.
Only the second part. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm going to try it. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole. That's what you should be singing. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Yeah, only the second part. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Yeah? Naya Bongo. Okay, yeah, you got it. Komilaya Wasa. Yeah. That's it. Okay, let me just try it and then you can go. And then stay all night like that. Okay? Komilaya Wasa Jole. Okay, then let me go on alone, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm going too fast. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole na ya Bongo. Komilaya Wasa Jole. Thank you very much.
You teach it also next time we will accomplish it.
Sure? Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, good evening. Island Council member Derek Simmons, invited guests, Mr. Jose Zimmerman, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this very important gathering. I'm happy that you are here. And the topic of this gathering is Our Voice, Their Legacy. Designing the memorial design with community. We were here in August. Some of you were present, some of you were not. But what we are actually doing is we are asking the input of the community to help us to design the memorial plan for the ancestral remains that are currently stored at the Heritage House. In August, a lot of ideas were generated, and this evening, what we are going to do is we are going to present 3 concepts, and we are going to put it to a vote, and the concept that is the favorite of the persons in this room, that is the concept that we are going to go on with. Yes, so welcome. It is very important to indicate that this event is a collaboration between different entities. So the Statia Cultural Heritage Implementation Committee, the St. Eustatius Historical Foundation, the St. Eustatius African Burial Ground Alliance, the Heritage Inspector, community members, and last but not least, the local government. Without all these stakeholders, this would not be possible. More importantly, it's also important to mention that this event is funded by NINSE, the National Instituut Nederlands Slavernijverleden, and Erfenis. So because of them, this is possible. If we translate it in English, it simply means the National Institute for the Study of Dutch Slavery and its Legacy, and they are based in Amsterdam. All right? So as I indicated, what we are going to do this evening is that we are going to select the memorial design for the Golden Rock ancestors. I would like to give a projected timeline to give you an idea as to our work, what we have been doing. We are now in October 2024. What is on our agenda? We are to select a favorite memorial design. We are to start the process to draft phase 1 of the Cultural Heritage Ordinance. Why is that up there? For many years, persons have been coming to Statia, archaeologists, anthropologists. You know, there are a lot of artifacts on the island. They would come, they would research, they would take. Statia does not have laws to protect its cultural heritage. And we believe that this is absolutely necessary. So with funding, what we have done is that we have been in contact with a law firm in St. Martin, and they are going to help us to start drafting a cultural heritage ordinance that should be ready next year, and it will be presented to community. And then, of course, it goes on to the Executive Council, and they would have to bring it into the Island Council. But without laws to protect our heritage, more of the same will continue. So that's why that is up there, and that process has started this month. The casket building ceremony. 69 ancestral remains are now stored in the Heritage House. We have to build the coffins for them. We have to build 66, not 69, because in some of the burials, more than one person was found. For example, a mother and a child. We are not going to separate those. And that has been the case in other instances. So we need to build 66 caskets. That's going to take place on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so October 28th, 29th, and 30th. At Julian Bass's capital shop up at the Station Mall. We need hands. If we get hands, we would be able to complete this process as quickly as possible. So I'm asking persons in this room, if you are able, please come up to the capital shop between 1 and 4 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and if necessary, also on Friday. Mr. Leonardo Quarter has already committed to the cause, so I know he's going to be there. Mr. Errol Bryce, you have committed yourselves to the cause, so you are going to be there as well. So thank you in advance. Ms. Patrick?
I have already committed with that.
Awesome. Awesome. Great. So that's happening on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and if necessary, November 1st. If we look at November, we have to rebury the ancestral remains, so we need land. And so we have submitted a request to the Executive Council. Once that land is designated, of course, assessment needs to take place. So archaeological assessment will take place hopefully in November, where we made it optimistic. And also, we are going to create a documentary about this whole reburial process and also about Eustatius' cultural heritage. So a documentary crew is going to be here on November 8th, and they will be filming throughout the week. They will be interviewing different stations, and we hope that this documentary will tell our story and it would serve as a fundraising activity as well. So that's in November. We aim to rebury the ancestral remains in December or January, but we first need that the land is designated to us. So we are busy now with the caskets, and we are waiting word from the Executive Council. Once that word is given, we are ready to go, and we hope to have this ceremony at the end of this year. It cannot linger. I'm very optimistic, but should we receive additional funding, and we are right now in talks with an entity that could fund the second phase of this project, I'm talking about the erection of the memorial space. And that can take place from January to June 2025, that we would actually construct that space. So that is dependent on funding. And then in May, of course, we would like to complete the Cultural Heritage Ordinance and then have a conversation with community. And then on June 12th, imagine if we are able to erect this space. We would like to have a grand opening on June 12th, 2025. Do you know why we selected this date? Sorry? The revolt. You know there was a revolt on June 12th, 1848. 5 stations, and well, some were enslaved and some were not enslaved, and it was led by Thomas du Puisoy. They revolted. Do we know that story?
Yes.
All right. So we are looking at June 12th. These are all just projections. We are optimistic, and I'm happy to announce that 2 very important persons just entered the space. Our island governor, Alida Francis. Thank you very much for being here. Give her a round of applause. And our Commissioner of Culture, Richelin Leardam. We are very happy that you're here as well. And also Lenny and Tidi, very happy that both of you have just entered. Thank you for being here. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass this word over to Mr. Zimmerman, and he has a very interesting presentation prepared for you. So please give him your undivided attention. Yes?
I have one question before you go to Mr. Zimmerman. I would like to know what happened if the coffins are not finished built between those 3 days and Friday?
We will continue in November. We will, as once they are built, then we know they're ready to go. So if we do not have enough hands next week, we will continue in November until we get it done. That's the idea. You're going to have to build the caskets. So the carpenter is going to illustrate, he's going to cut the wood, and all you have to do is screw them in. Put them together. So he's going to cut, you're going to screw. So if you're planning on coming, please walk with your electrical screwdriver as well, because that makes a difference. All right? So that's what's going to happen. Mr. Zimmerman.
Governor, good evening. Leardam, good evening. And council member, all present, good evening. with protocol serve that way. Let me greet all presents. Greetings from Curacao, especially from Causa Prome, which is a political party that I'm associated with. They are following this because the leader is an anthropologist, so you have a lot of interest in what is happening here. Last August, during the event, I presented a preliminary sketch, and we had discussed it. I got a lot of suggestions, ideas, and with all of that, I went back to the drawing board. Well, nowadays, there ain't no drawing board no more, so I went back to my AutoCAD in the computer, and I made 3 designs, because that was the decision that was taken that evening. Come back with 3 designs so we can choose the best one. Now, I have the 3 designs here on drawing, so you can open the drawing and look at it. I have it also, I need to connect this laptop so I can show it. I think you need to help me with this. Is this one or this one after? Yes, that's my speech. I'm going to the AutoCAD. So, 3 designs. The first one is where we have individual graves around. Okay, let me say this first. Basically, the same design of August with the rondavel. I remember your remarks about the rondavel. The same design, I adapted and changed, make 3 variations. So the first one is where we have the graves around the building. It remained 14, 14, 14, so 6 times 14, 84 graves. What I change here is the main building. In August, we had on both sides the bathrooms for gentlemen and for the ladies. We moved that to the outskirts of the design. So they're not attached to the main building no more. And let me move to the second design then. The second proposal. What is different here is that we have mass graves. When you enter, to the left and to the right, we have mass graves. Each of those mass graves take 36 remains. For the rest, the same thing again.
Each side 36.
As you enter.
No.
As you enter the compound, left, you have mass grave, and right side also. And each mass grave can take 36 remains. But we only have 66, right? So we have space enough. I'm gonna come to all your questions, okay? Another difference here is that we added a administration building. Administration building consisting of 3 sections. Office all the way to the left, where you can organize, plan, do your administration, meeting room in the center, and to the right side of it, a bathroom and an information center, so that when people enter in here, they can get information before they continue going in. The third proposal, I have here the word mausoleum, but finally it's not mausoleum. But what is going to happen is, in this design, the same center main building, we are putting all the remains here in the center. It has no roof in the final design, so it's not a mausoleum, it's open. For the rest, everything has remained the same. The toilet building in the back, the administration building, and then we are putting a lot of greenery, trees, etc., etc. I had to present this evening, and I was thinking, yeah, do it on a screen with AutoCAD, you know. I said, no, for me to do a better job, let me make what we call a maquette. I mean, I have the drawings, we can look at the drawings, they are okay, but I'm gonna bring forward the maquette and we're gonna look at it, because with the maquette I can give you a better explanation of the design. It's only one maquette, but by moving things around, I can show you all the 3 variations. And I made it with cardboard, with paper, twigs of the yard, little pebbles, rocks, to keep it, well, I don't want to say cheap, but not costly. You gonna help me? We're going, yes.
In the center.
We're going to the center. That's the default. Yes, go straight up first. It's okay. It's flexible. It's flexible. Let me fix it up first. Actually, I want to say, if you feel coming closer to look at it, it's okay. Just come closer. Cameraman, if you can do a close-up, please do it. Because after I can have them put music. No, you're spoiling, you're spoiling the thing, leave it there. Okay, Governor, may I go there? This is the entrance then. It's not perfect, so I already see that I'm missing something. This signboard here, I have 2, but somehow this one fell out. It's a column on which this one, for instance, is written the opening hours, what kind of event they have. And I had another one here carrying the name of the complex and what it is about. As I said, this consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings, of which this is the main building. Actually, everything is about this, around this. We're going to start here, and we're going to reach there. So, this is then the entrance. I say it's, you walk on red carpet, past a statue here made by Mr. Nagombo and continue to the cultural, the heritage house. You have to be careful because it's not only heritage. Okay, and so, okay, this here then is the administration building where I said consists of 1, 2, 3. The gray color roofs are concrete roofs. So thinking on hurricane, we in the hurricane belt, so I wanted a sturdy building. With the center ones, you know, I still wanted gable roofs, so it look Caribbean, it look station, it look it look like it has to look this Caribbean. Now, the center section is the administration building. I'm taking off the roof so you can see inside. I have here a desk where they keep meetings. You see 5 cabinets to the side. The windows are there. Doors are there. I use paper to indicate them. This section is where you can sell tickets. Now, somebody told me sell tickets. Is this a cemetery or what it is? Well, but this main building has a plaza in front of it. These are benches where people can sit down, and you can keep events here. I'm thinking about cultural evening. Yes, all kind of activities, poetry, dancing, all kind of stuff. So people pass here, buy their ticket here, and continue. There is a bathroom here. The other side, I said, is the office. So I'll take off the roof for you to see inside. Let's put them back and continue. Once you pass the statue, you can continue go inside. These are then individual graves. Individual graves. I have 14 here, 14, 14, 14, 6 times 14, right? My wall fall down again. Okay. Before I open up this, so this is a garden. It's a big garden where people can sit under the trees. A small garden coming here, yeah. And I use how you call that? Scotch Brite to indicate greeneries. And twigs from my yard with Scotch Brite, you know. I hope you understand those are trees. Okay, once inside the center part of the building, once you enter, the idea is that in here is the desk you see here. So somebody sitting here and providing information along the walls, big TV screens with information, paintings, sculpture can go against the walls, so you can organize in here nicely. This door is to go to a storage room that I have here. This, can we call it triangle, is another storage, but that's accessible. You see the door there? That's to put the garden tools. Left and right, I have 2 rooms here. This part here is what we call the silent room. There you can sit, pray, be quiet, meditate, contemplate, etc. Quiet room. From the center through this door, you can reach here in a classroom. Door there, windows. The idea is here that you can organize a lecture. A professor can come and give information about transatlantic slave trade, about Africa, all kind of things you can organize here, where people can come. Think of it as a classroom. Once outside here, this is what we call the learning wall. So here you can write down your name. Yeah, Mirta was here. I love Africa, whatever, something positive. We have two. On this side, this one, no one stand up, but okay, we have two. Let me put this back, and then we're gonna go to the bathroom section. Two bathrooms, both of them the same. One for the ladies, one for the gentlemen. I'm moving to your side now. Taking off the roofs. I wanted to show more, but yeah, I was limited with the materials too. But if this is the gentleman bathroom, I even put a toilet pot in there, you can see it. You see it?
Yeah.
Face basin. This side, the same thing, eh? And this corner is for wheelchair, so the bathrooms are wheelchair accessible. And then in Curacao, when we have a funeral, I mean, we have to hit a shot. Nabongo, while you was explaining about libation, I checked it online. When I open my beer bottle, my whiskey bottle, whatever it is I'm gonna drink, and I throw down, I will say, "Patefuntu nam." That is libation also. I honor those that go before me. So this is a snack bar on the compound. You can walk here. Oh, look, this is a statue. This is not made by Nabongo. This somebody else made that. But you can walk on the terrace here. This is the snack bar. They up the roof. You see they have the kitchen organized in there, so you can sit here on the deck, have a juice, have a water, have a strong drink. This, what I show you here, sorry I have to cross you, is the option number one.
Concept one, yeah.
Concept number one, where we have the graves individually around. The option number two, and now yes, you can pass them to me. The option number two is that we put in mass graves on each side at the front here. This is Eustatius soil I have in here, not Curacao soil. So 36 in this grave, mass grave, and 36 in this mass grave. And these, these gonna stay, Governor. These are future, but we can start with these, and these are future graves. Because I understood from the last event in August, what's gonna happen if somebody pass away next year and want to be buried in here. Should be possible. Somebody even said that this is a cemetery for African people. It's not for the Jews, it's not for the Portuguese. I laughed that night, but I understood what they mean. So this will be option two. The only difference, graveyards, how you say? mass graves, and future graves. The rest, all the buildings remain the same like this. Now, option number 3, which is, yeah, we have to see how it goes, but in principle, it means no roof on top of this. It means no secretary desk in here. And it means no graves at all, no mass graves outside, and none to the sides, all gone. And all 69 remains coming here in the center. It has no roofs. I hope the columns remain up. I'm gonna tell you why. I use PVC electrical conduit to do it, but I had in mind what we call Solomon's column. When Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem, the columns that he had in front of the temple were columns that turn around. I think I sent you a video about one of them. Maybe I have it on my phone. So I hope the columns remain to give it some cachet, you know? So that this will be option number 3 then. Yeah? They leave a coffin outside here, so let me put it there for now. So yeah, that's how I said, let me explain the design. I hope I did good. And questions? Any questions? Let me see. And of course, you can take pictures, you can move things around if you want. Go ahead.
Put these here. Let's put these here. These are the mass graves, right?
We need the mic.
These are the mass graves.
Yeah.
And then you have these here. But what would happen when because we keep finding remains all the time. Now, when these get full, if these are flat and we don't build up, then in a short time, we're going to run out of space in this space. So my question to you is, how are we going to maximize the space, even though these are here now, they're going to be empty if you put the mass graves here, but when these get full, then what are we going to do?
You're asking me that question, or are you asking the general?
I'm asking you because you're the architect. So is it so that these would be able to build up? Because if that's not the case, then this in a short time could be something of the past.
In August, we had this same question, and I responded exactly like, hey, we can go up in layers. But I think the audience at that time said no.
What's important?
But that's the solution indeed, to go up in layers. And remember, you have still a lot of land around that you can, you know, put more. But my first option would be layers go on top of each other.
But I would like to add that we made it specifically clear in August. We do not want this space to look like a burial ground. So we said, we talked about, that's why he put grass. You're not going to see, okay, it's a mass grave, but it would be grass, it would be a garden, this could be a garden, that could be a garden. And so even if we go up, we're going to have to make the decision, whichever design we choose, and we can of course add, because it's not perfect. We select one and we build on that. But we said we do not want it to look like a burial ground, because that is possible. So either you go deep and you start deep and you come up. So the mass graves, you come up, you build up, you build up, you build up, and afterwards we would see if it would, like Minerva talked about a hill. Should it be a hill then? Should it become a large hill or something? We had talked about the mausoleum, but the dilemma with the mausoleum is we want to put the remains in the ground first. Right? So, and to build around, that would be difficult. But the concept is we do not want it to look like a burial ground, taking the expansion into consideration.
That's why we call it memorial.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. And maybe I'm, jumping ahead. Parking, I didn't see as yet. Because I want to imagine that when there are events, that you will have to need parking. And I want to know, like, for instance, if you choose for this option where there is no roof on top of the memorial, what happens with the plan that you had in place for when the roof is on and you will have the multimedia possibilities? Does this take away the multimedia possibilities on the wall with displays? It removes it totally?
Yes. Yep.
And will it be then, in this choice, we replace it somewhere else on the grounds?
If you take off the roof, then because we said it's not a mausoleum, yes, the possibilities to put media around wall is less than, because you don't want those things to stay in rainwater and all of that. So maybe we have to choose another option. Concerning parking, I had some small cars that I wanted to put, but as I said, I was limited not only to the materials that I use, but also I had to take into consideration, I had to box this in Curaçao, transport it, and bring it here. So I was limited by the transport also. But of course, you need parking, and the planning bureau even have rules for parking. It goes by the square meter of the buildings. I think it's every so much square meters need an amount of parking. So yes, I will have to consider that it's a must. If I don't do that, then we don't get a building permit, and we need that building permit.
Okay, you had a question?
Yeah, I had two questions.
And then you.
Yeah, I had two questions. One of them was about parking, because I realized that I didn't see no area there for parking, and that could be posing a problem when there is activity. And my other question is, seeing that we are talking about you can have activity and so forth held here, what about if you organizing a funeral, you want to organize for a funeral for someone who is not affiliated with a particular church, and they want to keep it separate from a church, so they want to have a space where they can come, organize a funeral there, and at the same time ask for their family member to be buried. Is there a space big enough so it could accommodate persons who will want to attend a funeral? Because sometimes we have some very big funerals.
Let me answer that.
I think that's a question for you.
Yes, let me answer that.
Before you go, again, concerning the parking, I visited the, I forgot actually to mention, after the last event that we had, there was a meeting with Commissioner, and after the visit by you, I went around and looked for 5 locations that I think can handle this. And I wrote a paper that I call land paper, indicating the pros and the cons of each location. And then I advised, I think this location is best for this. And that location is behind the cemetery that we have now in front of the hospital.
So Princess,
That land behind.
that
Yeah.
hospital, that
Where we have the
6,000 square meters.
It's more.
It's more. That whole area behind this.
And then I said, listen, for this, if we get 2,500 square meter, I think we can do this, including parking and everything. But it depends how much government give. If they give the entire thing, hey, we can do much more. But I know that ain't gonna happen, so at least 2,500 square meters will be good for us, including parking and everything. Now
Yes, and then I'm going to go to this is a memorial space for the ancestors. Okay. So the ancestral remains, and we are starting with the Golden Rock ancestors. We know Stacia had 76 plantations, so it is possible that we discover more ancestral remains, and those remains come here. However, if someone wants to hold a ceremony here, it is up to the community to decide, hey, perhaps we could rent the place because you have to generate funds. You could always rent the place to have your ceremony, but the reburial would not take place here. That's the only difference.
Okay.
Yes, I have to ask a stupid question. When I'm looking at this, I like this setup you have here. And I was wondering if you have to make the box like when somebody died, you're going to bury them in Salem. I mean, these people had already been scrunched up. You don't have to make such a big box to take up a lot of space.
They're going to be this size.
Good, that's it. I like this one, sir. With the roof on. With the roof on.
with the roof on.
Yes, with the roof on. And then I was wondering if...
With mass graves, with individual graves.
Yes, because like the lady said, we would have, maybe after digging we'll find more, so we want to keep space for that.
So you're gonna keep the future graves too?
Yes. Not for local, but for when we find the ones that...
Yeah.
And
why not for locals?
Well, we we're gonna finish our working hours in first, and then we'll come to the locals. But, where came from, by the airport, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we back there? I'm seeing when you're coming in, and visitors come in and say, oh, what's that? And we would like to go and see it. And then you have a ticket counter right there, and they will want to walk up and buy a ticket and take a little move around. You don't have to hide it away somewhere. Put them back where they was, where you find it, put it back.
That was an issue with that, right?
Airport restriction.
Yeah.
So
That was
Yes.
Airport
Yes.
field restriction.
Yes, we have to do, Mrs. Anson, listen, we have to do something with the original site because there are many more remains under the ground. We have to do something with the original site, but at the same time, it is time that Stacia gets something tangible, a memorial space. And that's the idea. So yes, something needs to be done at the site, but we are asking for a tangible symbol in remembrance, in honorance of them. What Zimmerman didn't explain, the silent room, this is such a very important space because, we're thinking about healing, remembrance, just sitting, whether you're Christian or not, if you choose to pray, you do that in there. Well, if you have other religious belief, you do that there, but you sit in silence. So this aspect is very important. I'm going to come over to you, Ms. Patrick, but Mrs. Anson, what you are saying is you are a proponent of concept number 2 with the mass graves, because first this will be 36.
36, yes.
36, this will cover the Golden Rock ancestors.
Yes.
And then there will be future, so then perhaps what you are then saying is another mass grave here, another mass grave if needed, because this could be 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, and times the octagon, that's a lot.
Have the space available.
That's it. So you are saying concept 2, so you're saying with the roof back on.
Okay. Plus, this question, remember you can go up.
True.
Yeah?
True.
That's always
But we
possible.
have to see how we do that.
Okay, I have a few questions. You said you're going to build in such a way that it won't be like a burial ground, which I find is a very good idea because many of our people here are afraid of the burial ground.
That's right.
And if you're going to put the mass graves, it would be nice if you could plant them with flowers to make it look really nice and attractive because beauty is what we look at. And also you said, although that was corny or something. Sorry, just joking. So the other question would be is, since you're trying to attract visitors, will you have a souvenir shop or something inside there? Because I think it would be a touristic attraction for persons to come in, to come inside and buy something that resonates what the island is all about.
And in here.
Yeah.
So two locations. Two locations. Here and in here. Because I forgot actually to mention, I had a column here in the center where you put magazines, pamphlets, all kind of information.
Okay. And then the question was what Shamada, Siola mentioned already, that it's a Golden Rock, what you will call Ancestral graves. So, and what would the building, the whole area, or what would it be called?
Memorial. May I?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. After August, one thing that I did was study a lot. So I went online and I checked. I found memorials like in New York, I found in Puerto Rico, I found a lot of these memorials. In Jamaica, we had studied one. That was a large one. And St. Kitts recently built one too. So, and when you look at them, they really don't look like a burial place. And tourists go there and they look around, they do what tourists do, they ask questions, you know. And that's the idea behind this also.
From me, one final question. I see the trees, and in our culture, the flamboyant tree is
the July
symbol
tree.
of
The July
slavery
tree.
past.
Yeah.
So besides the flamboyant tree, are there any other trees that could be linked to our slavery past that can be part of the landscape?
Yes. Last time they said mahogany and July tree. Yeah. But I just put the trees there for you to see that we took care of greenery. But yeah, I didn't put nothing red or free.
Yes, can I ask a question? I'm not in favor of those roofs.
The flat roofs?
No.
The concrete roof.
No.
The flat concrete roofs.
If you go to Smoke Alley, there was, okay, it is before, it still more in the Indian period, the pre-columbian period. You have a house, what was made with the roof of a turtle. So is that possible if you make here? I was really pleasantly surprised. Like
round, like a dome.
Don't talk about domes with me. That's not a question. But to have a roof which looks like a turtle roof.
A humpback? You mean a humpback? Yes,
Yeah,
also that goes so.
Yeah.
So over this entire
yes,
thing?
exactly. Because I was really pleasantly surprised. That I must say, I was pretty critical last time, but I was really pleasantly surprised with the whole concept now. But that was an idea, so is that possible that we can have that idea in it? Because
The flat roof and then
no,
this.
No,
Okay.
that's what I...
And that's the same thing here.
Yeah, but
also?
that's not in the... I would say that doesn't matter, it's not in the memorial place. The memorial place has... If somebody looks into the memorial place, they must say, wow, this is fantastic.
It looks so common, you mean, with the flat roof.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, because if you put the dome roof there, you could put things in the roof itself.
Okay.
I don't understand. He said, don't talk about dome with it.
Maybe the word dome, but
No, but you understand what I mean. I'm back shell.
Half moon, you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like a half a moon,
Like
yeah. Yeah,
But
come back.
technically, it is possible.
Yeah, I know.
It's what the community wants.
It's what the community
And how
wants.
much Tarjan you have for it.
Yeah.
But technically, it is possible.
So we're gonna get to the other questions, but in the meantime, I think it is very important for us to narrow it down.
Sure.
I'm gonna come to you all. Concept one, with the individual graves and the rest stays the same. Who's in favor of concept 1, with the individual graves spread around?
I'm putting it for you. Concept 1.
It was this. Concept 1,
Individual graves.
this.
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, I'm trying to envision the mass graves. How are you going to look
It's
at
a garden. It's a garden. They're under the ground. It's just a
Yeah,
garden.
but I mean in the ground, where you placing the
Coffins in the ground.
On top of each other. Yes, we will have to put a row and then we will put them on, yes. So that's how the mass grave would look. So it's not individual, it's, yes, you start with a row, but you put them on top of each
So
other.
nothing else coming?
No.
Nothing else coming there after they are placed there?
Well,
36? Because if this is established,
Yes.
I can't imagine going digging back.
Exactly.
No, but that's what we said on top. So we would have to see if we would, if we
No,
would
but
go
you
up.
No, but that's a
You're not
garden.
going
How do you
on
go
top
on
of
top?
this.
Nothing going on.
No.
That's
This is
No,
36, it
but
remains
for
36.
future, for the future, but you start with that, so a garden would be there, so you wouldn't see it's a mass grave, it would be garden, so they would be in the ground, and then the garden.
It's good that
And then we add.
No, but you add.
You understand it's
add-
future?
Not everybody can come. Sorry.
No, so, for me, I just want to narrow it down a bit. Concept number 2, Mrs. Anson said she's kinda in favor of concept number 2. Who else is in, I'm in favor of 2 as well.
2 is my thing.
Yes, you told me that.
When I was making this, I said it is me, number 2.
Okay. Anyone for 3? So what we are looking at, just to make, you're for 3?
Commissioner is for 3.
Doesn't come out.
It's too late.
Got too much sun and stage.
Majority. Explain, yeah.
We have our families who's also related to, connected to their burial area. So I don't think you see a whole bunch of like you said, the concept of a burial ground, it's not that. But when I look at concept 1 and 2, to me, you see graves all over the place, like plants and whatever, but it's still a burial ground. But when you look at concept 3, you have a place in the middle, and why I go without the roof, because it's where you found them didn't have no roof either.
Yeah, but already.
But what about the new ones you find? Where would you put them?
Well, you work with that. From the beginning, I always say you need to prepare for what's to come, and you have to look at space.
Okay.
When you look at all what you're doing there, you're taking up a lot of space, and by putting everything there in the middle, the what you're dealing right now, you put them right there, and it looks like you are, the way I see it, is you're not taking up much space.
Okay.
But there is an issue with that,
Yes.
and that is construction after.
Yeah, that's the
You have to do your building very carefully.
That's the
You don't want to dig the same remains that you bury there and move, yes. So you have to be carefully, that's the only issue. But this option gives you the chance to put the 2 mass graves while you're building over there, doing whatever you're doing over there, you don't disturb them at all.
But what I'm saying is, you are planning, and to me, what you're digging there, you're not gonna dig there again.
No.
But then,
So this is the 69 going there,
And then what?
and everything goes somewhere else.
But then we need.
I
But then you
guess
still using the same-
what I
then you still
understand
using-
with these is what he means, that these won't be visible, it just will be land.
It's not visible.
They are not
The
going
graves
to
are
be
not
visible. So even so you got those what will come after won't be visible.
So what's
If
important?
you don't build
On
on
top
top
of it.
later.
So what's important is also the use of the land, that it needs to be efficient, because that's what you're saying. So the question is, can we get that with this concept? I think we can. We need to see, well, as we improve it, how can it be efficient? How can we make good use of the space?
I have a
Yeah?
Sister,
Okay, wait, we do it one at a time?
No, because all I want to know-
Ishmael was first. No,
Yes.
one at a time. I have to put some order. You're gonna come and then you.
Now, this space that you're talking about for purchasing, right?
Yeah, but that's why you have to.
This space that you're talking about purchasing for doing this program, do you know back there's quite a number of graves there already?
On that property.
On that property?
Old buildings also.
There are a lot of ruins there.
Sorry? That's what she said, the archaeologists got to check the land.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
to, oh, that's what they're asking here, we have to do an assessment first.
Yes, there's quite a number of graves there.
Yeah, we know.
When we fenced the cemetery, we left there all because it was a little odd to spend all that money for a cemetery up there.
Okay.
So back there has quite a number of
Okay,
graves.
yeah, that's important.
And I think that this is a very good plan. And for me, I formally use the word chapel, but it's a memorial in the center. Just like a little old church where people can go and meditate, and on the walls you can put pictures, you can do all that. A little old pulpit with one or two little old benches, because the people there were those who was highly religious, and I think something of representation should be done for those.
Yeah. Good contribution. Mr. Anson, I'm going to come to you, Adriana. Mr. Anson, Mr. Purcell, and then Adriana.
Well, it's almost the same as what Mr. Zurko was saying. In the beginning, I was thinking, indeed, that you put everything here and take off the roof, that would be a better use for the land. But the problem is, when you put everything there, the center, I find, you take away everything else, like if you want to do a slideshow or put something in the roof, all the things is gone, and there's no better place to do that than in the center, I find. Another time, people, tourists, when they come, they're going to a burial ground, not to really to look at the graves. You know, they want a certain experience, and the experience comes through the thing that you put there for them to see.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Good night. Kind of late when I wasn't in on the whole day, but so far, you see, you have 3 spots.
3 spots?
No, 3 concepts.
3 concepts.
No, 3 spots for putting this.
On the island.
No,
5 locations.
Okay, I only get 1, which is this one.
That's true, because I only
No, it's
use the
all right.
one that I advise, but it's 5 I surveyed.
Now, my thing is, having it now and for the future, how much land we want to utilize for the reason, as you say, I don't know how long this world will last, but people just continue. So based on the burial of the locals, black in total, land space, because the city always have things snuggled. And for development purposes, I mean, we might don't know what will happen tomorrow. How much land you think we will use or we would like to have for? Because why watching is this? Emancipation Day, 1st of July, again I'm talking about July 3. Now, wouldn't this be a place to gather on these occasions, and where would be,
That's the plaza. That's the plaza.
No, but like I said, I was not there. Okay? But at the same time, it's like any black event, I ain't talking about party, but consciousness, that we have enough room, because the end of the day is the younger generation, and what we're feeding them to really carry on this. Because up to today, I heard a brother saying, well, look, he know these people, so he ain't interested in coming. Nice. So my question is, the older folks, what you knew coming up, wouldn't they be ancestors? Like whether your grandmother or great grandmother. So, yes, under the circumstances, we doesn't know these people what is on there. To this point, we don't even have statue, somebody black that we could look forward to. The ones we have is the hippie boys, and they got them highway. So I don't know how much we children know about it. So our culture, they say keeping culture, but culture is dying. In spite of trying certain things. So what we really, what I'm saying that there's space enough to do everything in the future. Okay?
So someone will answer that. The
So,
space.
Thank you.
It's a lot of questions you asked me. Let me start with the size. 2,500 square meter
No.
is what is needed at this moment to realize this project as it is presented here. The amount of locations is 5 locations I indicated. 2 of them is next to the Roman Catholic burial ground. One is Smoke Alley.
He had it, you can.
No, but okay, that's why I'm, okay,
okay,
you want to have your business, but we're all more concerned that we got space.
We need,
Instead of because-
we need at least 2,500 square
Yeah,
meters.
yeah, but
So
we're talking about
that's the space.
being in the build up area. Yeah, you know? Instead of building around. But, yeah.
So while he's looking.
I find it.
Okay, all right.
Find it. In the last event in August, some criteria were set, and they are, it has to be an area close to the sea, it should be close to town, it should be a well-known area where and it must have connection to land and sea. As flat as possible, the land should be as flat as possible and easy to access and considering parking. So with that in mind, I went to look around. The first plot that I indicated is located next to Wilhelmina Park in the historic area. It's 2,265 square meter. It's flat. It's not fenced at this moment with boulders around. It's private property and we couldn't find out to whom it belonged. But Monday, I'm going to Cadastre to find out.
Check and quarter.
Sorry?
Check and quarter.
And quarter, okay. This is a picture of it. This is the Wilhelmina Park here. So this is the, maybe you remember this shape the land has?
Yeah.
Plot number 2 was in Fort Orion Straat. This here is the Seventh-day Adventist. Now let me see. The Seventh-day Adventist is here. This here, where I'm moving here. So this here is the hospital. Opposite of the hospital, you have a cemetery, and behind it, what I have here in the red. Yeah? This is a big size land, about 6,000 square meter. We don't need all that 6,000. You know, yeah, like half of it. It have some issues with it. It have a slight slope. I passed today again and look on this side, Princess Road. It has like a a high elevation, so some excavation will need to happen there. Plot number 3 is located next to the Golden Rock School. How to explain you, this here is the public cemetery and the Catholic cemetery next to it. So it's the plot of land. Actually, this is the Golden Rock School. So it's next to the Golden Rock School. Flat land. It's government owned. How big it is? 3,000 square meter, but I didn't advise this one. I indicated it, but I didn't advise this one. I have some issues with it because access is not that, 100%. Next to it, has another one. So the one I indicated first was here, this one, next to Golden Rock, but outside on the main road, at the corner, at the junction of these two roads, have one too.
Behind the ballpark. Before you reach the ballpark of the main road.
And then number 4 was Smoke Alley. So when you're going down the road to go on, how they call this? Bay Road, I think. Yeah, this where Indiana had the project.
By Fort Amsterdam.
But
Fort, that was
According to you, Adriana, I have an apology for you.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
And those are the 4 actually, but I say 5 because here I had 2. One in the center, one outside, so it makes 5. And my advice was ask government for option number 2. So I don't know how the status is. This land paper went to the commissioner. I think she forwarded. I think the president knows more about the status, how it is.
We are waiting a follow-up from them because we told them why this is the best land is because when you look at the spatial planning, this is designated. This area is the ideal area because Stacia has spatial planning and you have to take different areas into consideration. Because I remember I had discussions with Taro. We were looking at Zealandia, but that is a no-no because according to the spatial plan, that area is not designated. So the most perfect location is right behind the grave of Mr. Moore. The lot right behind that. And could you imagine how revolutionary that would be for our ancestors to be looking down on Mr. Moore?
We should take it up, actually.
Emma?
One thing I know a little bit about the piece of land. And right behind it there's
which land? The same number 2.
Number 2? Yeah, the same number 2. Just behind Mr. Moore, see you have it in red.
This one?
Yeah. There's an enclave inside that land. So I have to check if it's private, but there's already made breather.
Yes, there are 2 made breather at this end here.
And then,
yeah, but the bigger portion does not have a main breather.
Yeah, but that is right behind Mr. Moore.
I went there today where you said have made breather. They have 2 pallets of cement blocks piled up there.
Yeah.
So, but I saw on my AutoCAD that it has 2 main breathers.
Yeah. So as we narrow down, we are leaning towards concept number 2 with modifications. Minyavrailing is proposing that we look at this middle concept and do something different with the roof. So it could be more like a half a moon, like a hunchback, so that there can be more possibilities. And the people in this space seem to agree with the exception of Island Council member Simmons. the most people seem to agree with concept number 2 too. So we need to enhance that concept.
Why I believe that the roof, it must have a roof, whether you cove it or you bend it or whatever, because we can do a lot when you have a roof on.
Yeah.
I look at the Dutch Reformed Church, it's a waste of time. There, if they had a roof, they could do so much things in that and get money to keep it up. So whatever we're doing now, please put a roof
on it. You wanted to say something, and then I'm going to see what it is.
Yeah, I'll keep it short. Look, at the event of 28th of August, what I discussed was the floor plan, which we have on these drawings. The floor plan is what we discussed. And that's why I have the 3 drawings here, 1, 2, and 3, because I did what I was told to do. This is a step further now. When the issue came to, let's make a 3D, I don't think I was rude to you, alright? I said, no, nobody ain't gonna make no 3D of my design, because this was my initial design. If I had to let somebody do a 3D, I would have to explain them how I want the roofs, how I want the elevations to look like, and there comes your point, because nobody told me that I should do concrete roofs, this is all my imagination, and it was not approved by nobody. You understand? So I just went, after I did what I was told to do, I just went ahead and said, well, I think I want it to look like this, look like that, and this is the end result. So I'm flexible. Community wants it different, I will go to the drawing board, to the computer, and design something different.
And Rihanna had something to say for quite a while, and then I'm going to, she's going to speak, but she has a mic, but I'm going to give you all the mic.
I only had a question. The ancestral remains that were discovered, 60 plus were of African descent, but some that were found were also of indigenous people. So my question is it the desire or the wants of the room and the community that this is also then available to indigenous people?
You know, that's a discussion for the community. If we want, but this is what I would say. I think it is time that the ancestral remains that also get the respect that they deserve, but I also believe that there should be a space for the indigenous remains. The question is, do we want to mix? Because we have Jewish cemeteries, we have this cemetery, and I'm a proponent for having the space for the ancestors, and we will have to think as a community what we would like to do with the indigenous remains. Yes.
The follow-up is, I'm thinking along the lines of we have an urgency to put the African ancestral remains back in the ground.
Correct.
Well, they were found together with the indigenous individuals. So I think whatever solution we think of, we should have the same respect and urgency for them, of course. Just wanted to add that.
Yes. Of course. Yes. But it's so different, you know, there's so many different paths, moving paths, and the question is, do they need to come adjacent to, perhaps we need, instead of 2,500, perhaps we need more in the same area to pay the respect for the indigenous remains.
Just as a broader answer to the question, we need to learn that we can't be all things to all people. And at this stage in our history, we have to focus on our heritage. And of course the Indians, they were here first, but I think there could be a separate trajectory for that. Having said that, I want to focus on the roofs. I don't know if I left to, come back, if anyone address it. Do I need to imagine that the roofs are zinc or concrete? The ones that are showing red. And also I look at the red carpet, it looks royal, but I thought, what about cobblestones? You know, the way they are now in Radistan, flat and neat, but it goes back to our culture, our heritage. So the red carpet, what about cobblestones? That's a suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make a note of that. I didn't think what type of material this has to be at this moment, you know. What I said is the gray ones are flat concrete roofs, and this I wanted it to have a Caribbean look. But is it galvalume? Is it zinc? Is it an imitation of the shingles? I didn't reach there. So it looked like galvalume, no?
It's like shingles.
I can't answer that one at this stage.
Okay. I see that the room is simmering down. Oh, we got more.
May I say something?
Sure.
Because I think I owe Adriana something. After the meeting, August, I made an appointment with you. That the following day I would meet you and discuss. No, but I have it on my chest. I have to let this go. And there were other appointments with Commissioner Leerdam, for instance, that I had to attend about the land paper, where the locations and so on. So I chose willingly, to go attend that meeting and leave you, but I sent you a message telling you, sorry, I cannot make it. Yeah, but I wanted to apologize for that. Okay?
So I see 3 hands. Carol, you have anything to say? Commissioner, who else wants to say something else?
One more thing.
1, 2, 3, and
one more thing. For that,
coming to you.
Mister, these are the two made-breven that they have. 31 1990 and 24 2008. Yeah? This is the plot of land, so the reminder is now Princess 9 of 1985.
Yeah, that's new.
These two, I don't know to who they belong, but
Yeah, but there's a new main. There's one for the hospital.
the hospitainer is further down
Yeah, so there's
in this corner.
Yeah, there's a new main leaf for the hospital. So you follow the fence of the hospital. That's the new main leaf. And then everything else besides those two existing main leaf is a new main leaf.
Oh, so this one is,
Yes,
they have a new one for this?
That's an old one.
Okay. That's why it's a reminder, so they made a new. Okay. I'm going to check Cadastre tomorrow. One day.
He's Cadastre here.
You Cadastre? Hey, may I have an appointment with you Monday morning?
When you say you want to have the ancestrals in the ground, what's time?
The end of December 2024. So we are looking at the Executive Council, and we hope that we hear something soon in terms of a designated spot, and preferably the spot up at Princess. But we are awaiting the response of the Executive Council.
Okay, the reason why I asked that question is we tend to complicate things by talking about design of roof, and you don't even have a spot yet. You don't even have the funds. You have the funds to...
For what? We have the funds up until the Reburial, but in order to get the funds, we had to envision what we wanted. We could not just wait on a spot.
Yeah.
We had to
the
do
reason
that.
why is you could envision very elaborate, and when I hear of designs that is not common to Statia, to me in my head the price goes up, because you're talking about special building, and taking all that into consideration, design, location, you are looking at maybe 10 years down the road. And that's, you know, that's when I look at sometimes projects, like for example, the government has been talking about the administration building for and certain things, and it started getting to discussions about design and location and how one wants to look. And I even remember the same building, I made a proposal about this building and other buildings, I won't say what, but then people start putting their 2 cents in on look, and I said, no, we're planning with different areas looking at the future, because if you do not plan well, then you have a tremendous building that you want to put down, but you do not have the property to put it on. And if you do not take that into consideration, it just extends time looking and trying to get the right approval, and approval process also take time.
Some very good points. Practicality, you have to look at it being cost effective, and what you are stressing is the importance of it being culturally relevant in terms of fitting the local convention station. The design should be something that reflects what we have here.
Focus on your main goal.
And what's the main goal?
Burial.
So the burial, yeah.
So you're talking about different aspects that is not really important, but your goal is to get them in the ground.
The goal is not only to get them in the ground, but the goal is to erect a tangible memorial space for healing, for celebration, multifunctional. So it's multifaceted. So that's part of it, but that's not the whole story.
Maybe I can shed some light. There was a study done by the Station Heritage Research Commission. Coming out of that study, there were 12 recommendations. There was a committee established called the Eustatius Cultural Heritage Committee, Implementation Committee, and the committee that is here tonight. This is part of the implementation process. That is just from a broader perspective. So what is being done here tonight is in line with the recommendations coming out of the first report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking at the design, the mass grave, what about digging down and having the structure underground? So you have like a building, but underground, so you wouldn't see it from the top. The top would be a garden, like you wanted in the first place, but you would be able to go underground and use the slots. You could build, just like you build a normal,
you mean like ground zero?
Yeah, something, exactly, that concept.
So you mean here, so we start here, and then these are real deep underground. That's what you're saying?
Correct. So you could
you walk down, you walk like in a kelder or something to go to them?
It's something like a kelder,
so
but
down,
then you just have them push in
the slots.
But don't forget, we are reburying before we create the memorial space.
Yeah.
So how are we going to do that? We have to
what
rebury first.
what I'm saying is, you could do the mass, but in the future,
Oh, in the future. Oh,
those that
you
are
mean
going
when
to be
they-
coming,
Okay.
so that we could create a lot more space
Okay.
and still keep the
Okay.
above ground concept
Okay.
the way we envision.
Okay, that sounds really good. We're gonna start winding down now. Mr. Merkel?
I was just saying that if you look at some of the cemeteries, they have some big tombs with a round top, and I think that will fit in for those buildings. The round roof, concrete roof, that will set in with what we have already. If you look down in some of the cemeteries, if you look in the Dutch Reformed Church, and even here right outside here, you'll notice some of the big tombs, but they have the concrete roof, and you can open and put different bodies inside.
So that's kind of linking your concept also with Leonardo, but he's saying to go down.
Yes,
stand
and
down.
I was thinking on the buildings there that
These.
yes, the flat roof. The other roofs can be, but the side ones for me can be round.
But those with the round tops on it wasn't the slaves, the rich people who were buried in those terms?
Yeah, people of a certain status. Yeah.
But not the slaves then. So you don't want to put it there to represent.
Okay, that's, yes. So she's saying that those tombs were more a symbol of status. And the enslaved people, you will not find them in those type of tombs. Okay. So folks, what is going to be the next step? The next step is that we are going to zoom in on concept 2. I heard the cobblestone idea. I heard that we have to change the roof. I heard for future burials we can go down. You know, I'm hearing different things. So we are going to start to fine tune. But at the end of the day, in order for Zimmerman to really complete his work, and in order for them to be in the ground, we need a designated location. Because once we have the designated location, he can be more precise with the measurements, and then we can really finalize this aspect. So that is now the next step, to run with concept 2 and add additions, and then of course it will come back to you. You will see what it looks like in the end. And in the future, we're going to have to talk about how we want to give content to the learning journey, but those things will come. Those things will come. And Mr. Simmons?
Those are the details.
Those are the details.
Simmons is talking about.
Yes, you asked about the funding. I said in the beginning, we are in talks with a potential funder. I think I said that in the beginning, to actually fund the erection of the memorial space. Should that happen between now and December, it means that we can start in January. Should that happen? If it doesn't happen, we're going to have to go over to Plan B, and we realize that it would be a longer process. But we need to get them in the ground. So in order to do that, we need a designated spot. That's what we, designated spot, get them in the ground. That's what needs to happen right now. So with that being said, we have snacks at the back. I want to thank everyone for coming.
Reminder.
And the reminder, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, stations will gather up at Station Mall to help construct the mini caskets. They are mini caskets. They are not full-size caskets. Mini caskets from 1 to 4 p.m. Please, those who can help, please go up, because the more hands we get, the quicker we will be finished with this process. And the caskets will be taken to the Heritage House, and there the remains will be placed in the respective caskets. And then hopefully they can be reburied in December. We will have an official ceremony, so we'll have to plan the reburial ceremony. That's the idea. All right, so thank you guys for coming. And I guess Mr. Zimmerman wants to say one last thing.
I have a question. What's going to happen with the macaque? Who's going with it?
You want
I'm not going back home with it.
Okay.
But we need to put it somewhere.
Put it in the Heritage House. Put it in the Heritage House.
We're gonna find, yeah, the Heritage House. Yeah, we'll find a place for it.
Okay.
At the Heritage House, right?
Yeah.
Everybody agrees?
Yeah, we agree.
We need to come back.
Miss Johnson? We settled on number 2. We are clear on concept 2.
Money not. We settled on number 2.
Yes.
I hear you.
Yes.
Okay, thanks then. Thanks.
All right, thanks for coming out. And we have some doubles behind.